Ayo, welcome to episode 24 of Create This Book by Mariah Elizabeth and Ashleigh Monet. Would be me. I have a really good episode for you guys today. We had 4 prompts to tackle this week, and I enjoyed every single one of them. I don't know what to say. I think I'm back. I'm back in the groove. This has just been a really good week. But also, we have a super exciting giveaway. Make sure you stay till the end of the video if you want to take part in that. There's a good one. But enough of me talking. Let's jump right in and see what I can create. The first prompt this week, create textures. Fill this page with a variety of different textures. Now, this was one of those rare prompts where an idea came to me right away. I immediately thought of Monsters, Inc. Big fan. And one of the things I love is the variety of different monsters that work for the company. I always marvel at the amount of time it must take to render these super complex textures in animation software. Very impressive. So for this page, I just wanted to make a collection of some of the monsters that have interesting textures. Starting with Randall, he's one of only a couple of monsters that have that classic scaly texture to them. Next, I chose Mr. Waternoose. Not gonna lie, if I was assigned a monster in this monster universe, it would probably be him. He just gives me the heebie-jeebies. He's got that creepy, almost bug-like exoskeleton and all the legs very much like a spider. Yuck. I will say one thing I love that the animators did with Waternoose was gave him little brown spots all over, mostly at his joints. Since he's such an old monster, it's almost like he's rusted. That is some attention to detail. The next monster has a truly unique texture. He's furry, but it's a very woolly kind of fur appearance. Of course, I'm talking about the Abominable Snowman. Now, this is exactly what I mean when I say I am mystified by these animators. Trying to capture this kind of curly, fluffy texture was so difficult, and I wasn't even being all that detailed with it. In the film, you can see every hair. How, I ask, how do they do it without going insane? For the next, I had to go with Roz. Roz. She is definitely one of my favorites. You didn't turn in your paperwork last night. Roz has a lot of textures going on. She's clearly some kind of slug monster, but she's also old as sin, so they definitely gave her a combination of slimy, bumpy, and wrinkled textures throughout. I freaking love it. Okay, fair warning, this next one is mostly filler. Fungus. He doesn't really have much of a defined texture. He's pretty smooth with just a couple of little dark splotches here and there. But I did need a smoother monster to throw in for variety. And one thing I can't get over are his 3-eyed glasses. They're so clever. I love them. And I was like, I have to draw them. And last, but certainly not least, is my favorite monster of the movie, George Sanderson. Oh, poor sweet George. He can't catch a break, always falling victim to code 2319. I love his colors, the orange and yellow, but I also adore how luscious and fluffy he is. Or at least how fluffy he was. Poor George. All right, I feel like we have a good collection of textures here, but of course, I'm not just going to have a page with a bunch of supporting characters only. We simply must include Mike and Sully. Okay, now with all of our monsters done, they are desperately screaming for some juicy highlights. Highlights are essential for creating texture. I am feeling pretty good about how this is looking, so now let's jump back into the book. I do want to zhuzh up the prompt, and I probably went a little bit extra on this one. I love the idea of like a little mic and a little Sully silhouette popping out from behind the prompt here. Oh, it's cute. Now let's glue everyone in. And here it is, our Page-O textures. There really are a bunch. We got a good variety, and I'm super happy with this page. It was a fun concept. Love Monsters, Inc. But on to the next. Create ugliness. Make this page ugly. Yes, please. I know a lot of people dislike this prompt. In other Create This Book videos that I've seen, I'd say this is the prompt that most often makes people cash in their refusal. You guys remember the refusal? Yeah, I'm still going strong, still haven't used mine, and I definitely won't for this page. I think Create Ugliness gives me the perfect opportunity to create some grotesque art, and I am so down for that. Now, I've been catching up on season 2 of The Last of Us, and oof, those clickers. They are ugly. UGLY, they ain't got no alibi, they ugly. So I will be creating one on this page. Now, if anyone out there has no idea what I'm talking about, I will explain. The Last of Us is a TV series adapted from a video game with a truly terrifying premise. So cordyceps is a type of parasitic fungus that takes over the body of its host and makes it act erratically before it ultimately dies, releasing more spores and spreading the fungi. They call it the zombie fungus. Now, cordyceps is a very real thing, and although the fungus is limited to infecting insects and arthropods, in the game/show, it's theorized that this is because cordyceps cannot survive at the body temperature of humans. However, in the future, as a result of climate change and rising global temperatures, cordyceps has evolved and adapted to higher temperatures in order to survive. And once exposed to humans, boom, fungus zombie apocalypse. Now, I love zombie apocalypse shows and movies, all that, but I have to be honest, if I ever find myself truly in that situation, like, I'm going down in the first wave. No, thank you. I'm a diva. I'm not a runner. I need filtered water. I don't want to watch my loved ones get eaten. Like, no. Day one, take me. But back to the page. Clickers are versions of these fungus zombies that are at a more advanced stage of infection. The fungus has literally overgrown their brains, so their head just kind of splits open and lets these fungal plates grow all over. And that completely destroys their eyes, leaving them blind, so they have incredible hearing to compensate. And they use a series of clicks and groans as a form of like echolocation to stalk their prey, hence why they call them clickers. They're also like super aggressive. You don't want to mess with these uggos. I'm going to use watercolor for my base here, and I know this looks an absolute mess right now. Imagine that, my ugly page is going through an ugly stage. We got to start getting in all of the details. That's what's really going to make it come together. So first I started creating more definition with my alcohol markers. Like, the watercolor makes a really great base, especially on a piece like this where I need a lot of coverage. Like, it would have taken ages to do all of this in marker. But the downside to the watercolor is everything was kind of looking flat and one-dimensional. So the markers really work well to add some bold shadows and start bringing these textures to life. I want to give the colors a bit of a punch too, so I went in with a bit of colored pencil to enhance them. I mean, these clickers have everything. They're green, they're yellow, they're purple, they got like the red and brown blood, like they're gnarly. And now I want to shift to the background. You'll often see in the show that when someone that's infected with cordyceps finally expires, the cordyceps kind of branches out all over the walls or ground around them, and it looks super cool. I want to do that here. Now I'm going to use paint markers since they're nice and opaque and they'll cover the watercolor. But again, they are kind of flat, so I have to do multiple layers of different colors. And then I got to make them pop with some shadows. And of course, it's juicy highlight time. Now for a little extra pizzazz, I'm going to rip the edges of the paper. Like, I love that for the distressed, apocalyptic look. And let's glue it in the book. Ah, yeah, this is my jam. I love it. It's gruesome and gory and above all, ugly. Loved this prompt. All right, next prompt. Create a page for a pet. Dedicate this page to a pet. If you don't have a pet, use a friend's pet or one from TV. Now, this page is not to be confused with this one. Create a pet. Here we were supposed to invent a pet of our own choosing, but on this page, we have to dedicate it to an existing pet. Well, let me tell you guys about my sweet Peach. Peach was my first ever Velcro kitty. I mean, I got her for my 16th birthday and I'm telling you, we were inseparable. She was such a little diva, the type that loved to just nap on a pillow or two. She was very high maintenance, always had to have the best food and water, and needed constant affection. And I'm gonna be real, she wasn't the nicest cat ever. She had her moments. She was such a princess though, and she loved Christmas. Christmas was her favorite. Anyway, she sadly passed back in 2018. I miss her all the time, but like any true cat lady, I did get a tattoo for her. And I actually have this little keychain that I made from a lock of her fur. So I have a little piece of her wherever I go, always with me still. But yeah, let's make this page all about her. I'm going to start with my watercolor for the background. It only made sense to go with, well, peaches. Little watercolor peaches. I think this is such a cute vibe, the little watercolor peaches. I would love this as a wallpaper. Super cute. Once that was dry, I could add a few pictures of my sweet girl. I think these are the ones I want to use. I'm going to map out where those are going to go. And then around that, I thought it would be fun to kind of write in all of her names all over the page. Because if you're anything like me, your pets end up with a zillion random nicknames over the course of their lives. So of course her legal name was Peach, but we also called her Princess Peach for obvious reasons. And from time to time, she went by Peacha Marie. Maybe I'd occasionally let a Peaches and Cream slip out when addressing her too. Things started getting weird when she became Peacha Butter and Jelly. And probably the longest running nickname of hers, Peacha Momo. You see, I went through a phase where I was obsessed with Memoirs of a Geisha, and one of the characters, Hatsumomo, was an extremely beautiful yet totally evil geisha. Hatsumomo exuded the same energy as my Peach, so we started calling her Peacha Momo. That stuck for a while, but you know how it goes. You get lazy, cut out a few syllables, and then she just ended up being Momo. Now imagine my surprise years later to discover that Momo is actually the Japanese word for peach. What are the chances? So really, we came full circle without even trying. All right, let's glue this into the book and add my Momo's pictures. Oh, I love it. It is adorable and it is as sweet as the cat herself. I miss you always, my Peacha. This one is for you. Now on to the next page. Oops, this one's already done. If you all remember, I did this page as a collab with the Cassie Projects. It is the one and only time that I've gone out of order with this book, but hey, we can move on. Create something out of nothing. Draw random scribbles on this page, make something out of them. Let us begin with the scribbles. Mwah! Scribble. So most people try to find images within the scribbles. That's probably more what the prompt is asking you to do, but I had an idea instead to draw the source of these scribbles, which is going to be a pen of sorts. So I started sketching out a hand, but it's gripping this pen. And the thing that makes the pen special is where the ink of it comes from. Are you seeing this? Yep, it's going to be an octopus ink pen. Ooh, gotta get me one of those. But first, let's get this baby lined. I am definitely digging this whole system of using watercolor for the base this week. This prompt is no exception. I love that I was able to make the background have that watery type effect. and the octopus inking. The watercolor was great for that. But much like my clicker page, I wanted to go through with my markers to really punch up the colors. My watercolors definitely aren't as bright or vivid. My little octopus was looking a little ho-hum, and we want him to pop with those oranges. That's more like it. And I decided the scribble wasn't epic enough. Like, let's go crazy with the scribbles. Scribbles all over the page. And you know what? Let's do a whole border of scribbles too. Because why not? I mean, once you get to scribbling, it's so hard to reel it in. Then I decided to go over all of the line work with a thicker liner for a more bold and illustrative look. Like, we're not shooting for realism here. I mean, how realistic is an octopus ink pen? Like, this poor little octo would die. He's not even in water. But we are suspending logic and physics, and artistically, this works, okay? We are, however, missing some juicy highlights to finish this piece off. Yeah, I think that's good. Now back to the book. Let's give this prompt a little color. We'll stick with those blues and oranges. And glue in our octo pen. Ugh, I love it. This one was a lot of fun to do. I have an affinity for octopi. They are one of my favorite animals, so I really like this piece. But that means we're finished this week. We created texture, highlighting a variety of textures from the Monsters, Inc. crew members. We created ugliness with this hideous fungus zombie, a clicker from The Last of Us. We created a page for a pet, this sweet little page for my sweet little peach. And lastly, we created something out of nothing, this octo pen in a sea of scribbles. Oh, this was truly a great week. I loved every piece I did. And now that we're done with that, it's giveaway time! I need to give a very, very special thank you to MJ, an anonymous donor that has very generously offered to sponsor this giveaway. She wanted to gift a few of my very lucky viewers the opportunity to own some Ashleigh Monet merch. Now here's the exciting part. I'm going to be making custom merch packages for 5 lucky winners. Each of you are going to be able to build your own package that will include 1 print, 3 individual stickers, 1 sticker set, and 1 bookmark. You can pick any design you would like of mine, past or current. I will be making these special for you. So I have gone and updated my website. Now every design that I've ever done is visible. Not available, but visible. Go to my website, artwithash.com, and at the very bottom of any page, you'll find a contact me field. Just send me an email with your dream order. Again, 1 print, 3 individual stickers, 1 sticker set, 1 bookmark. There's no swapsies. You can't be like, I don't want a bookmark, I want an extra sticker. No, the package is what it is, but you get to pick which of those items you want. Now, once you've submitted that email, just make sure that you like this video, make sure that you're subscribed, and voila, you're entered. The winners will be chosen at random by me on Friday, June 27th, 2025 at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. So early bird gets the worm. Get in there if you want to be part of this. I'm going to announce the winners in next week's video. I am super, super excited for this giveaway though. Thank you so much, MJ, for helping get my merch into the hands of my viewers. Thank you all of you for actually watching this video. And until next time, goodbye.